What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'm going to break down my trading day. So today I made about $102,000 day trading Amazon. I played Amazon on the downside. As you guys can see, my P&L for the day, about $102,000 traded Amazon. I basically caught this move down and I caught this move down, right? In the simplest way. Now, what I want to go over in this video is my trade setup, what made me take this trade, my size, how much money I put into the trade, my R multiple, and all that good stuff, right? So with that being said, let's get started. So as you guys can see, I had two trades for the day. Both Amazon puts. The first trade was at 9:34 Eastern time. The second one was at 9:51. Both trades were puts. Played the $3,000 strike price. On the first trade, made about $61,000, 112%, 9R. Second trade made about $41,000, 54%, 5R, right? Now, also, if you guys take a look, I haven't traded the past 10 days or 2 weeks, if you want to call it. Just been taking some time off from trading. That's why I haven't posted anything or whatnot. If you guys do follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I have, posted about that. But with that being said, let's dive into the first trade. So this is the first trade. So the first trade, I used about $54,000, $55,000, let's say. Now with this trade, I had a 9R. I risked about $6,700. My first entry was around 934. At $18, I put a stop at 16. Even if you go at 15s and you kind of get a little bit crazy, it works either way. So the reason Amazon was on watch, just to start off with that, let's go on a bigger time period here. Amazon has been on a massive sell-off. The whole market has been on a massive sell-off. Forget Amazon, right? The whole market has been on a massive sell-off. So today on the open, we got a nice little gap down. So seeing that gap down, as you guys can see on the 5 minute, 1 minute, whatever time frame you want to go on, we got a gap down. Now, a lot of times when we get a gap down on names, I'm looking to see the price action on the first few minutes, because what happens is sometimes we may get a gap down, right? The stock may open up on a gap down or on a gap up, whatever, and we see a weak move to fill the gap or a weak move towards the gap, right? There's days I've seen a stock gap up, right? After it gaps up, let's say this is yesterday's action, this is today's action, it gaps up, it'll make a move down, it finds support, it finds a bid hold, and then there's a nice play on the upside. On gap downs like this, with an accelerated sell-off in the market, because we got to keep that in mind, for names like Amazon, we got an accelerated sell-off, right? Seeing something like that, seeing a massive sell-off in the past few weeks, seeing SPY being weak on the open, on the first bounce or first gap move, I saw price action go up. Once I saw price action go up, it went into my key level around 3,020. Around that 3,020, I was identifying weakness. Once I was able to identify weakness, that's when and where I got in. So around here at 9:34 a.m., I took my first trade with 30 contracts at about $18. So I got in right here. This is my trade. I'm like, listen, I see some rejection at 30.20. Let me get filled. Let me see. And if this does not work out in my favor, which is obviously a possibility, and we do fill this gap area and we do make another move up, I'll exit and I can always look to re-enter on the next area around 33.30 or 30.40, right? One of those areas. But once I got in, I set my stop, and I now start looking for the play. Now, luckily in this trade, and I say luckily because getting perfect entries or great entries are not always it. So don't chase perfect entries, guys. So in this trade, once that happened at 6:34, I have 30 contracts. And as we start moving, I start scaling some out at 9:38. So we go to 9:38, which is right here. Once we make the low of the day, right? We made the low of the day on the candle before, but I didn't see accelerated sell-off. On the next candle, once we'd made a new low of the day, bounced at 29.80. I'm like, you know what? I don't know how this is going to play. I don't know if we're going to enter a chop day. I don't know if the market's going to go all over the place. So with that being said, let me take some off. I want to lock some in right here. So right here, I locked some in. I took a little bit profit off the table. Took 10 contracts off. This 10 contract made me about 17,000. Like I say in all my videos, guys, I'm trying to build cash flow. So if I'm up on a trade and I'm up good, I will take some off the table. And that's what I did on trade number one. Then about 6 minutes later, if you want to say around 9:43, right, which is right here, I took my other 20 contracts off, which netted me about 43 grand. So overall, made about 61,000. Now on this trade, the reason I sold here is because once, number one, we got a huge move down, right? I'm already up 100% on this play, right? I'm up 100%. I could have maybe left some runners, but at the same time, we got such an accelerated sell-off the past few days and such a huge move on the downside that I was like, you know what? I don't want to get caught up in a higher low reversal play. So during this moment, I flipped my whole game plan and I'm like, you know what? I might look to short. I might look to play the upside. So once I exited here, what I was trying to identify was this 2980 level to break. I'm like, you know what? This 2980 level needs to break. Not needs to, but if it breaks, because we're seeing price action tighten up, we could possibly see a higher move. And the moment we see a higher move, I need a new higher low. And that will be my entry to possibly play the upside. So I kind of put that in my head. Now, luckily, we didn't break 2980s. Luckily, there was no setup. So once I kept seeing rejection, I flipped my game plan and I said, you know what? I think we might see another leg down. So that's where my second trade kicked in from. On my second trade, once we saw that coiling action around 951, I start seeing a constant rejection. I'm like, you know what? Let me take this trade at 951. If we do break the 2980s, I can always reverse my position and go and play the upside and look for a higher low, right? But in this situation, around 951, once I start identifying that, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enter this trade. I'm going to look to short. And the moment we break above 2980, I will exit and take a loss. That will be my stop loss and flip that once again. Right now, if that does not happen and we do see weakness and we do see chop happening for a little bit, I'm expecting a move down. So with that conviction and trade setup and my stop loss and everything set up, I took about 20 contracts at 37.79, 3,000 strike. I put about 75 grand. Put a stop around 34, pretty tight stop because I got filled close to the bid around here, and I said, I'm going to take this trade. Now, obviously, as you guys can see, trade went in my favor very, very well, made about 54%, took the first half off at 958. So right when we start moving down, this is where I'm like, okay, we're seeing a heavy move down. 958, right when we make a new low, I'm selling. So I say this in all my videos. I look to sell the rip. I look to sell on these moves. I'm not getting in on these moves. I like to get in when price action is flat, when price action is setting up. I'm not going to go and buy puts here and pay a crazy premium, especially on the same day expiration, right? I'm looking to buy here and sell on moves. I'm looking to buy here and sell on moves. I'm not playing the other way. A lot of traders trade low of the days, high of the days. No, I'm looking to build an entry, especially for my option trades in between here, and I'm looking to sell this. So in this trade, as you guys can see, sold it at 958, right, which is right here, and then I sold my final position at 1001, which is right here. This is where I sold my final position. Now, why did I sell some there and why did I sell some there? Let's kind of break that down. So the reason I sold some down there because obviously I like to lock in cash flow. I always say I scale out, right? I like to lock something in. Obviously, if I held the whole trade, I would have made so much more. I get it, but I'm looking to scalp. I'm looking to trade. I'm looking to make some money, build cash flow consistently. So when I see a move goes in my favor very, very fast, I'm taking that money and I'm running. So in this predicament, I'm running with the profits and I'm like, I got it. I'm done, right? That's number one. Number two, once I'm done with that trade, and if you guys look at that trade netted about 14K. I'm up 14K, so I'm like, I'm taking that. On the second trade, we got a massive move down. So once we got that massive move down, premiums are at 65, 70 bucks. I remember seeing premiums close to 70 bucks here as well. I'm selling on that final leg down. I'm like, you know what? I got a massive move already. I already am up close to almost 100K for the day, right? And, you start feeling FOMO. And this happens at every stage. I'm up a massive amount. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to give some of it back. I don't want to force trade and not be up maybe only 40K opposed to being up 100K. I see 100K. I know mentally I'm close to that number. So I'm like, you know what? I'm selling. And obviously, it's not always great to do that. But when I have a big trading day, I make sure to take most of it off and call it a day from there. So that was my final exit. Yes, there were plays after. There was a bounce play or a play afterwards. You guys can see even here when I was watching this action, I wanted to scalp this on the downside, and then I wanted to play this on the upside. Obviously, I did not take any of those trades. I only took 2 trades. And the reason I took only 2 trades and I was done after hitting 2 back-to-back winners is because I've noticed with myself in the past, a lot of times, right, I do this, and I'm pretty sure you guys do it too. You have two good trades, right? Today I had two good trades that, did very well for me, did about 102K, right? I'm done. I'm not going to allow my ego, I'm not going to allow my overly confidence mind at this moment be like, wow, I made 102, let me go make more. No. Like I'm good with that. I'm good. I'm going to walk away, especially when I have a massive day like this. Like these days don't come around often. You get two trades, be done. I don't want to be done because my third trade was a red trade and I gave 20 or 30K back. And I'm like, well, you know what? I was still up 70K for the day. No, I had two good trades. I'm comfortable. Not saying I'm comfortable with the profits, but I'm comfortable overall with the trade idea. I'm comfortable with my execution. I'm comfortable with how the day went so far. I don't need to go in in another trade just to stay in front of my computer and force and be super, take advantage or whatever the case is, whatever you want to call it. When I have, once again, big days on 100K, like I'm not making 100K every day, right? I don't want people watching this also being like, oh, this guy's making 100K every day. No, like this is not really. This is my first 100K trade of this year so far. I've had a few last year, but it's not a normal day, right? If it was a 20K day, 30K day, fine, but 100K is not normal. So with that being said, it's like when I get these massive numbers or massive trades or I do very well, I do like to put a stop on it and walk away just so those profits stay. Another thing I want to bring up for people that are new, the reason these contracts moved very, very fast, guys, you guys got to keep in mind, I traded today. Today is Friday. I also selected the same day expiration. These contracts, when you play same day expiration, could be crazy if you do well on them and you are on the right side, but they could also burn you. Like these trades could burn you very, very hard, especially if you're on the wrong side because the options are expiring today, same day, right? So yeah, just wanted to hop on here real quick, give you guys that breakdown. If you guys like this video, I would appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend and had a good trading day. See you guys in the next video. Thank you, guys.